Hey there, if you're over 40 and you've ever felt that mid-afternoon slump, you know, the one where you crash hard after a meal and reach for coffee just to stay awake, you're not alone. But what if I told you this isn't just getting older? It could be a silent signal that your blood sugar is creeping up, even if you're not diabetic. This invisible epidemic derails so many lives, leading to stubborn weight gain and low energy. The good news? It's reversible with simple, natural steps. Today, we're uncovering the 7 early signs of high blood sugar and how to fix it fast. Part 1. The invisible epidemic. You might shrug off that post-lunch slump as normal, but feeling wired and then wiped out after eating is a major clue your blood sugar is spiking and crashing. When you eat carbs or sweets, your blood glucose soars and your body dumps insulin to pull it into cells. Sometimes the insulin response overshoots, and blood sugar plunges too low, leaving you sluggish and foggy. This sugar crash can feel like running on empty even if you ate enough. The scary truth is that this isn't just in your head. High blood sugar isn't only a problem for diagnosed diabetics, it's a silent epidemic. About 1 in 3 American adults now has prediabetes, higher than normal sugar, and most don't know it. You can have chronically elevated glucose and insulin resistance, for years without obvious illness, even as it quietly damages your body. This happens because of insulin resistance. Think of your cells as suitcases that store sugar. Normally, insulin acts like a key, unlocking cells so glucose can go inside and be used for energy. But when those suitcases are overloaded or locked, i.e. insulin resistance, the extra sugar has nowhere to go. It just piles up in your blood. Your pancreas then pumps out more insulin to compensate. This may keep blood sugar normal for a while, but it's unsustainable. Over time, the pancreas can't keep up, blood sugar stays high, and you slip into prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. In fact, excess belly fat itself makes insulin resistance worse, creating a vicious cycle where high sugar begets more fat around the waist. The result? Stubborn weight gain, especially around the middle, and constant fatigue despite enough food. The really insidious thing is that prediabetes usually has no obvious symptoms at first. Many people feel just fine or write off minor complaints until full-blown diabetes hits. But the subtle warning signs are there if you know what to look for. In the next section, we'll go through 7 early warning signs that your blood sugar may be quietly too high, and what they mean for your health. Part 2. The 7 warning signs. 1. Skin tags, neck, armpits. Tiny flaps of extra skin, especially on the neck or underarm, can be harmless, but a sudden increase often signals high insulin levels. Experts note that skin tags are commonly associated with insulin resistance. When insulin is chronically elevated, it stimulates growth factors that can spur extra skin cell growth. If you're noticing more skin tags than usual, consider it an early metabolic warning light. 2. Dark, velvety patches on skin, acanthosis nigricans. Look for rough, darkened areas of skin in body creases, the back of the neck, armpits, under the breasts or groin. This condition, acanthosis nigricans, is a classic sign of high insulin in the blood. Insulin prompts skin cells to multiply and thicken, causing those velvety, brown-black patches. Often people mistake it for dirt or tanning, but its presence, especially if symmetrical on the neck or armpits, is a red flag for insulin resistance. 3. Constant thirst and frequent urination, especially at night. high blood sugar makes the body flush out excess glucose, which pulls water with it. This diuretic effect leaves you dehydrated and thirsty. Needing to drink a lot of water and wake up to pee frequently are telltale symptoms. In fact, increased thirst and urination, polyuria, polydipsia, are classic early signs of elevated blood sugar. If you find yourself sipping water non-stop or setting nightly alarms for bathroom trips, don't ignore it. It could be your body warning about hidden high blood sugar. 4. Sugar and carbohydrate cravings, especially after meals. Do you suddenly feel a burning craving for sweets or carbs after you've already eaten? This isn't just a passing fancy, it's often your body screaming for quick energy. When cells are insulin resistant, they aren't getting the glucose they need from your meal, so the brain signals you to eat again. Nutrition experts note that intense post-meal sugar cravings are a common clue to insulin resistance. If you find yourself reaching for that ice cream or cookie right after dinner, or feeling completely famished an hour after lunch, pay attention. It could mean your sugar levels are roller coasting. 5. Brain fog or difficulty concentrating. Your brain is very sensitive to blood sugar levels. When glucose supply to the brain is erratic, as it is in insulin resistance, mental clarity suffers. You may feel forgetful, unfocused, or hazy after meals or throughout the day. In fact, studies show insulin resistance can impair cognitive function, often described as brain fog. Patients frequently report trouble concentrating or processing information when their blood sugar is off. If your mind feels sluggish or you can't shake that foggy feeling even after a good night's sleep, it's worth checking your blood sugar patterns. 6. Slow healing cuts and bruises. High blood sugar harms blood vessels and nerves over time. One consequence is that even small wounds or infections take longer to heal. Cutting yourself or getting a minor injury should normally resolve quickly, but elevated glucose can delay the whole healing process. Medical sources note that slow wound healing is common in diabetes and also in long-standing prediabetes. If scrapes or sores in your legs or arms are lingering or frequently reopening, it may indicate chronically high sugar levels impairing circulation and immunity. 7. Stubborn belly fat, visceral fat. Perhaps the most familiar sign: excess abdominal fat that won't budge. Visceral belly fat is both a cause and a result of insulin resistance. Fat cells, especially around the belly, release inflammatory substances and make it harder for insulin to work. Conversely, when insulin levels run high, as in resistance, the body is constantly signaled to store more fat in the abdomen. This is why many doctors point to a growing waistline, even when diet and exercise habits haven't changed, as a hallmark of insulin trouble. If you notice your pants getting tighter around the middle without explanation, it's not just about willpower. Hormones and blood sugar could be at play. Each of these signs, skin tags, dark skin patches, excessive thirst, sugar cravings, brain fog, slow healing, and belly fat, are your body's early warning lights. They often appear long before blood tests confirm diabetes. Recognizing them now gives you a head start on reversing the problem naturally. In the next section, we'll explore simple, science-backed fixes, and a special liquid supplement, to help restore healthy blood sugar and energy levels. Sources: medical and expert resources including Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, and health system specialists outline these insulin resistance symptoms. These warnings are supported by clinical observations and research on prediabetes and metabolic health. Part 3. the natural fix is you don't need complicated diets or expensive testing to start improving insulin sensitivity. Small, consistent habits after meals and at breakfast can dramatically lower spikes in blood sugar. Next are 3 evidence-backed, practical fixes you can start today. Fix 1. Walk 10 minutes after meals. A short, gentle walk, even as little as 10 minutes right after a meal, helps muscles use the glucose in your bloodstream so insulin doesn't have to work as hard. One controlled trial found a 10-minute post-meal walk produced significantly lower peak glucose than sitting still, making this a highly feasible strategy for busy adults. For best effect, walk within 10 to 30 minutes after eating. This is simple, low risk, and can be repeated after each main meal. Fix 2. Vinegar before carbs. The glucose-slowing trick, acetic acid, the active component in vinegar, has been shown to reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes when taken with or just before meals, especially high glycemic meals. Clinical trials and reviews suggest small doses, roughly 1 to 2 tablespoons, 10 to 30 milliliters, diluted in a glass of water, can blunt postprandial glucose rises. It's not a replacement for good food choices, but it's a cheap, evidence-backed trick some people use to moderate spikes. Start with a low dose to check tolerance, and avoid drinking undiluted vinegar to protect your teeth and esophagus. Fix 3. Change the order you eat your meal. Fiber right pointing arrow, protein right pointing arrow, carbs. What you put on your plate matters, but so does the order you eat it. Multiple trials show eating vegetables and protein before starchy carbohydrates produces a smaller, slower rise in blood sugar and insulin than eating carbs first. Practically, start your meal with a salad or cooked vegetables, add the protein next, and eat the carbs last. This modest change flattens the glucose curve and helps reduce cravings later. Quick summary plus safety note. So, walk shortly after meals, try a small diluted splash of vinegar with carb-heavy meals, and eat fiber, protein before carbs. These are low-cost, evidence-backed strategies shown to blunt post-meal glucose spikes and improve insulin action over time. If you're on glucose-lowering medication, insulin, sulfonylureas, etc., or have advanced kidney disease or reflux, check with your clinician before trying vinegar or big changes to exercise. They can adjust meds if needed. Also remember, the landmark diabetes prevention program proved lifestyle changes like these lowered progression to diabetes by nearly 60% in high-risk adults. That's the scale of benefit we're aiming for. Part 4. The Sugar Defender solution. For many people, good habits get you most of the way, but cravings and the convenience of modern food can still sabotage progress. That's where a supportive morning habit can help bridge the gap. Pills are convenient, but absorption can be variable, and some people dislike swallowing them or suffer GI upset. Rapid absorbing liquid support, taken sublingually, a drop under the tongue, can offer faster uptake for certain ingredients and is easy to make part of a morning routine. Clinical pharmacology shows sublingual, buccal delivery can produce quicker absorption than swallowed tablets for suitable molecules, which is why some fast-acting medications are delivered this way. That's why many of my clients like a morning drop like Sugar Defender, a liquid formula designed to be taken under the tongue each morning before breakfast. Used as part of the program we discussed, post-meal walks, vinegar with carbs, eating order, consistent sleep, it can help reduce morning cravings and give you a more stable start to the day. If you want to try it, I've put a link in the description. It's the same product I recommend to clients who want a convenient, rapid absorbing support. Affiliate note: if you purchase through that link, I may earn a small commission. at no extra cost to you. A final word. Lifestyle wins every time. Supplements can help, but they aren't a cure. Start with the 3 practical habits we covered: walk, vinegar, if appropriate, and food order, and use supportive tools like a sublingual liquid if you need an extra edge. Track how you feel. If you see multiple warning signs we discussed earlier, talk to your clinician about diagnostic testing, A1C, fasting glucose, and an individualized plan. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and click the description for the Sugar Defender link and a free PDF checklist of the 7 warning signs plus the 3 fixes you can start today. I'll walk you step by step in the next video on how to track progress with simple home measures and when to get formal testing. Important safety and compliance notes, short. If you take diabetes medications, insulin, sulfonylureas, etc., do not change dose or start new supplements without discussing it with your prescribing clinician. Even small changes can cause low blood sugar. If you have GERD, severe kidney disease, or are pregnant, discuss vinegar or new supplements with your clinician. Supplements are not regulated like drugs. Look for third-party testing and read labels carefully.